Alrighty, perfect. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, everybody. Pup here with another video to help you guys with your progression through Isola Sacra, and to this one's going to encompass pretty much all the little nooks and crannies of Sacrament and how to better make your journey through here a little bit more efficient, because there's some things you might miss, some things you might overlook, you don't know the importance of, so on and so forth. So we'll talk about them. So first of all, we're going to start off with when you first initially walk into the town. We've covered before, so we've already saved Gordon over there in the shadows. So once we get that quest done, there's one little thing that's hidden over here that you could take the time to go get, because there could be loot. Move, cat. Come by a couple of NPCs, nothing too crazy, but back here in this little corner is always going to be a chest here. After you open the loot in Sacrament, to my knowledge, they don't respawn like the outer world does. Now the world will go through some evolutions in terms of like story progression and things like that, but nothing super crazy will happen in the town outside of like maybe a barricade or two gets put up or other things like that. So what you're going to do is, instead of going down, you're going to run across this way, and we're going to go to the other side of Sacrament, because we're going to hit a couple of things coming back. As you come over here, there should be a couple of pieces of loot and other things that you can pick up. But the main thing is there's just this little item hiding right here. As we can see, it's just a nice corrupted or plagued item for us. So sweet, we're up. But you just drop down here, and then if you want to, you can continue across to down here. There should be another little item. And then we keep going down, because there is a secret hidden little area over here that has resources and another chest that we can loot. So you can come on down here, take this long ladder down, and then if you want to break everything to your heart's desire, if you get loot, look at that, I'm up a penny. In for a penny, out for a pound. And then there's a lot of resources around here, so you can see a lot of fish jumping in the water over here. If you swim over this way, there should be a mining deposit, and I believe some herbs, but mostly just the mining deposit that you can come over and get. And so you pick that up, do a little fishing, grab all the resources down here because they're free and they help you. But you can knock down the trees, you can cut all these down, but when you get done running around, come through here, and you guessed it, we're going behind the waterfall, because look at that, we got more treasure. And so you can loot this, pick up your stuff. We got a nice chipped moonstone, sweet. And then come back across, and you should be able to just climb up the rocks right here, jump over this, and we go back up. Fortunately, there's nothing else crazy to do down here. It's purely just the chest underneath the waterfall and the resources that are down there. So that's a nice little thing that you can do. But now we're going to progress the main story quest, where you're going to go talk to the Watcher. So we'll start as if we were going from the main part. Also, there are resources here that you can get. So there's a couple of trees here you can cut down if you want and loot those, as well as another tree just a little bit over there to the right. But we can run through here, and I'll go back to where Ellsworth and Grinnich are standing. So when you start from here, you just want to run down the road, and you'll constantly be told that the Rookery is in a certain direction. Just follow all of the guards and just keep on following this path, and you'll see a couple of vendors all hanging around, and then you want to come up this way. It's a nice little jaunt. If you want to, you can evade if you're lightweight to get around town a lot faster, if your controller doesn't mess around with you, or if you're using a mouse and keyboard. The light evade is actually really fast, so you can use it to get around a little bit faster than just running, but then if you save enough stamina, you can keep sprinting afterwards. So here is where you will proc the quest line to start, and you'll get a nice little cutscene here. But we're gonna skip it. Again, I'm gonna keep lore for you guys. But with that being said, we spawn down here in the Rookery's like bedchamber area, and you have a chest here. Now this is awesome because this storage is massive. I don't quite know exactly how big it is, but I do know that it goes for quite a little bit. And this is the community chest. This chest can be accessed by anybody that you bring into this server. So when I say anybody, I mean any other characters you might create. I don't think it would be shared between, like, when multiplayer gets added to the game, other people would be able to access your stuff unless they had permissions or something. I'm not entirely sure. But you would be able to store anything in this chest, and any other character that you bring in after this one would be able to take items from this chest, which means you could store items for other builds, resources, other things like that you just don't have the time to store it, or you don't have a house yet with your own storage. So that is an option. And here you can rest if you sleep on the bed, or I guess you can't, not here anyways. That's what Caroline's Inn is for resting. But as soon as you start this, you're going to have Danos just standing out here, and you're going to talk to him, get all these quests knocked out. He'll tell you about the stairs here that need to get put back, and he tells you how everything needs to be returned to its former glory, everything like that. You're just going to run up because you can't go down the Rookery, and we're going to walk out into the top of the Rookery where Roan and the Watcher are. So we talk to them. They'll proc a couple of quest dialogues, blah blah blah. You'll get the Plague Ichor, your first one, that you would have gotten had you killed Big Boy down there. And what this means is you're just gonna spend it. I would highly recommend on spending it, and I can't really show it on this character because we have everything unlocked. Like the only thing I have left to unlock are tool slots. But I would highly recommend unlocking like your resources tabs, or gear collection tabs, or if you're trying to use more weapons, then unlock whichever weapon slot, whether it's main hand or offhand. I'll try and go through this on a fresh character so you can see all the options, since this one has pretty much everything earned. But you can unlock more ring slots and other things like that to help you through your journey here. But after you get that, you're done talking to him. I have another one, I just need to spend it because he won't leave me alone about it. So then you get done talking to him, and we want to leave, and we're gonna go this way. A note about this, because, well, actually I'll talk about that in a second. So you're gonna run down here and pick up another quest where the cutscene will show you everything else going on. He takes a second to proc, so don't think that you're breaking anything not by being able to immediately talk to him. But then we're gonna run down the stairs here, because that quest will send you out into the Nameless Pass, which is the area out to the right of this place. And we've got Grinnich just right here that we're going to talk to and pick up another quest. Listen to all the dialogue, and then you can talk to Odessa over here. And then spam the dialogue, get it done, or listen to it. I highly recommend listening to it because the story in this is actually awesome. But from right here, I'm going to point out a couple of things. If you run over here and go up this ladder, there will usually always be some sort of loot up here. We got a small little chest. Let's go. So you kick that bad boy open, loot it, go back down. And I want to make a note of this right here. So this right here is the scaffolding. This needs to be built. You can read this, tells you why. But when you do a certain project, this will complete and give you a shortcut to parts of the map that you don't already have. So let's grab the rest of the treasure that's around this area, because the next part is going to be talking to Danos. So if you climb up here, grab this, come over here, jump across. If you walk behind the house, there should be a chest right here. You can drop down and pick it up, because you're gonna have to run around. There's more herbs that are usually here. And then this door might not look like you can go through it, but you can. And when it goes in, it goes into solid stone, so it doesn't actually like do anything crazy. But you're now here above the war room. You can kick this ladder down, and there should be a big old chest in here that you can loot. We'll get the war room in just a minute, because there's another way we can go into it. Because I want you to come back over this way. And just before you go all the way down the stairs, you should, or like right at the very bottom, you should see a lineup here where there's a rock. If you drop off onto the rock, you can use this to traverse town and get down faster, but for all intents and purposes, we're coming over here because there is a big old chest hidden right here, and we want it. And so from here, you can jump down, take no damage, just like that. You can fall other directions if you're trying to go that way, whichever way you're trying to go. You can use that to your advantage to get down after you've received your loot. But let's go into the war room real quick. If you come into this area because you picked up a bounty, there will usually be a big pillar right here that will stop you from coming up, and there will be an enemy down there. But this is a non-invaded war room, so we're all pretty good. But if you were to come down that ladder instead of go back out, because let's say you got that loot already, this ladder would be accessible to get to the top where we just came from that treasure that we kicked down. So this is just a little loop around to here. But after you destroy everything, loot all your stuff, come back around. There's nothing super important in here, minus like the chest up there and a little chest on the left right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then usually you'll have a couple of quest dialogues that will bring you in here for the campaign, which we'll cover. But as you can see, there's nothing like super crazy in here. There might be some barrels that you can smash, and if you get lucky, you get loot out of them. If you don't, then, well, it's not the end of the world. But as you can see, there's really nothing in here. So you don't have to waste your time running around if you don't want to. If you want to look and explore, it's always nice. This game rewards you for exploring, and it's just a treat. This game is amazing. But now we're going to talk about Danos, because he is important. So as soon as you get done talking to Grinnich, you would come down those stairs if you didn't do the loot route. And you talk to him, spam his dialogue, and you'll get this menu right here. Now, this is why it's important to come across any resources that you might get, or farm any resources that you might come across, because your resources are used in this, upgrading your weapons, things like that. So there was a staircase. So if you collected enough, the main ones that I'd say you need to knock out are this one. If you want shortcuts and you're not going to buy a house for a little bit, this takes 15 minutes to do. So while you're literally working on another quest, this will be done before you know it. If it isn't done, then you're just lightning fast. But we have a bunch of other things that we could do that will be beneficial to us. And the reason why I say beneficial is because all of these serve different purposes. Gordon gives more recipes, gives you a stove to cook more advanced meals. Eleanor's enchantment shop, I don't know why I was trying to think of another name for it, helps you basically bolster armor, weapons, get runes, make new weapons, buy progression items for leveling up in case you're leaning into the intelligence or faith side of stuff. She's very important because she helps you infuse gems into your gear, enchant white pieces of gear into either blue or plagued items, or has the capability to remove runes from items, replace runes from items, or put new runes into items. And runes are the special abilities that you get whenever you hold the menu button down, and you get these new abilities right over here next to my head. And they change with any weapon that you have. So you'll notice when I change weapons, they aren't the same as the last one. But that's why she's important. So really what it boils down to is, what build are you trying to go with, and what are you trying to accomplish? The main important ones that I would say will help you the most would be the lodging staircase, Whittacker's crafting shack, because the sooner you get him to tier 3, the sooner you get larger storage chests. So if you do end up purchasing a house, you can get a lot of storage from him and have many places to put a lot of stuff, so you can be the true loot goblin that you want to be. Danos's workers doesn't matter, and I say this only because if you do the Crucible, there is an option that will allow you to instantly finish any currently construction project currently in progress. So you can save your food. Don't worry about this one, because yeah, while some things might take a while, if you just go to level 5 of the Crucible and find the Seneschal, it takes 20 of the orbs that you get from the Gloam seeds from the Crucible in order to finish these projects. And you can, if you have enough resources to start 7 of them at a time, you can finish them almost instantly, within maybe 30 minutes of work. So realistically, like, I would personally say, if you want to just keep questing, do the 1 hour. An hour's not that long. It'll be done before you know it, and you'll go out and get more resources for the next tier and all that jazz. But Caroline's in. I wouldn't upgrade. Let's start at the top. Finish this one for a shortcut in the Rookery, so the stairs get completed, and you have faster access to storage in case you don't have a house at this point. Whittacker's for storage. If you're playing a dexterity character, he sells bows and spears. Danos's workers, don't worry about. Fillmore Smithy, mondo important because he will give you the capabilities to refine your ore into ingots, which will help you upgrade your gear, which will also unlock the anvil for you to craft new gear that you might be able to buy from him or recipes that you find out in the world. So he's super important, and the higher level you get him, once you get him to tier 3, he will smell ores faster, and he will have more recipes and more items for you to buy from him that should be in the silver range, which are the highest working tools for farming, trees, mining deposits, fishing, digging up dirt, all that jazz. The Rookery Elevator, if you happen to come across these resources, I'd say put them in and let it just roll, because the run to the Rookery isn't horrible, but this elevator is pretty nice quality of life because you actually do save time getting it. So if you happen to come across the resources and want to spend them on this, do it. It's a nice little shortcut. Ilaria Sanctum is only good if you are looking for unarmed fist-to-fist, like fisticuffs combat. She will sell you melee weapons that are just like the gauntlets for melee weapon, for punching people. But they also have runes that go into weapons. They're not all for the fist weapons, so realistically, if you wanted some of the runes that she sells, you can upgrade her. If you just want to get everything upgraded to tier 3 anyways, then do it. Nobody's going to stop you. But just know that that is what she offers, and there's nothing really crazy with that. Caroline's Inn, if you don't want to make your own bed and you just want some place to sleep to get a little bit of a boost, go ahead and build this place up, but that is the only thing that this place offers. There is no other benefits to having this fully upgraded, minus the buff that you get from the bed. And since they made beds a little bit, not a little bit, they buffed them tremendously. They heal you when you're hurt, they give you a HP, and if you get a higher level bed, a stamina buff. But these are super powerful now anyways in comparison to where they were. So if you want Caroline's Inn, it's a bit of a jaunt over there, but you can have that option if you want it. That's totally up to you. Mira and Meri's tailor shop, these fine ladies will help you upgrade your armor, because your armor will never be upgradable at the blacksmith. He only does weapons. So these people are important for upgrading your gear, but also the more that you upgrade them, the new tools that will spawn in their hut in order to, or their shop, in order to allow them to whatchamacallit, refine your threads and allow you to be able to create cloth gear from them, or leather gear, I believe. You'll be able to purchase recipes and other things with them the higher level you get them, and all that jazz. So doing this isn't horrible. I believe you can upgrade your gear to the highest level regardless of whatever level they are. If anybody knows different than that, let me know in the comments. But realistically, it's just better to get them leveled up, so that way you have access to the tools that they provide, so you can refine your farmable materials and then be able to upgrade your gear and be stronger than you were before. Danos you want to upgrade because he will sell more advanced items, and in that sense there are things that you can put in your own house. So if we come over to buy real quick, we can see that Danos sells us all of these simple things, which are really good. They do what you need them to do, but they can be a tad expensive. So only either get the ones that you need or will find a use for, whether it's smelting ingots, turning planks into, or wood into planks. If you want to be able to craft potions and elixirs, cook your own food in houses. If you're trying to craft like furniture and structures, so if you're trying to make a bed or tables, chairs, whatever you want to make your house more homely, you totally can do that. And then same thing with like cloth leathers and or armors, excuse me, weapons, threads into garments, hides into leather, all of that jazz. But you can only put these in a purchasable house, and as far as purchasable houses go, there's always just one right here for 25 silver. If you get enough for it, I'm gonna buy it just so I can show you guys what it looks like. But you come on in, and this is where you would place like your storage and stuff. So you get this nice wide open space where you can put chests galore around, just put as many things as you want in them, and they're traversable, so you can make this place exactly the way that you want it with the constraints that you're given from the game itself. This is probably one of the best houses in the game. You have a few other options, The Homestead is always really nice. I'm going to sell it so I can show you the other ones. But up here we have the Manor, which is nice. You have to come to these signs to buy them first, and you make sure you line up right. I don't mind the layout of this house. It seems a little chunky wonky, but it's got good storage space. It's got good space for storage, so if you wanted to use this as a storage house, you absolutely could. Also, if there's a fireplace in a house, you can actually sit down at it and cook food if you want to. But you can cook much better meals at an actual stove. So you have a lot of room here to do stuff with. There's just a lot of, like, to me, dead space that you're walking around. But if the homeliness of the house is what you like, then you're beyond up. And so those are the one of the two houses. I'm gonna finish the list that we talked about, because there are 3 other houses that we could go to that offer different sizes for different purposes. So after Danos's, if you get him upgraded, you can buy more of these. I say more, better ones of these. So you'll find a fine furnace that will make it so it smelts ores faster, or saws wood into planks faster, things like that. If they have any sort of resource refinement in them, they will be upgraded when you build him up in tiers. So Danos' architecture study, very important. Level it up so that way you have better access to more refinements. You get more upgrade materials faster in terms of the smelting and the breaking down and everything like that. So that one's really good. Now this one's also important, because if you decide to do the Nameless Pass as your quest after this line here first, this will be a shortcut that you can use in order to get around town a little faster, especially because there is an item on a guy that you'll need to pick up in order to free somebody for part of a quest. So this is nice. It does take a good chunk of resources, so if you don't want to get it and you're fine running around, you can absolutely do that. It's no big deal. It is what it is. So if you want to have a little bit of an up-down area to get across, that's the wood platform that we were standing on before that wasn't finished. This will just allow you to get up and down between these levels of Sacrament a little bit faster, but it's not integral to anything. You can play the game without this and save your resources to actually upgrade something that you need, right? So also, let's hit the last 3 here, because these 3 are I would say essential and important. These 3 I would probably recommend getting to tier 3 the fastest out of anything, because Grinnich, he will always sell goods and they reset at 5 a.m. local time. You can go there every single day and check to see if and when I say 5 a.m. local time, I mean your actual real life IRL time. So the market resets every 24 hours for all vendors. So if you buy everything from them, you will see them replenish the next day at 5 a.m. So always be checking, because Grinnich will always sell pretty decent stuff. He'll have crafting resources, he'll have gems that you can infuse into your gear, he could have rings and gear. Like, his stuff is always pretty decent, so always be checking him. And if you want to, like Fillmore Smithy, he'll start selling ingots the higher level he gets, so copper, iron, silver ingots and stuff. So if you're trying to just buy those outright, you can get those every day as well. So there's reasons to have some of these vendors at tier 3. So always have him at tier 3 and always be checking him for loot, because you could get something that you need for that last final upgrade. You could find something that you need for slotting in your gear, so that way you can enable your build to work better or do the things that you want to do. So always check that. You have Eleanor's enchantment shop, which is important because of how influential she is with upgrading your items, changing the runes out of weapons, and pretty much enchanting all pieces of gear. So she works with armor and weapons, can make them blue, can turn a white item into a 4-socketed gemmed item. And what that means is you can put 4 different gems into a single piece of gear and then just run around with that in it, which is really good. But sometimes purple corrupted gear will have higher rolls on it, so sometimes it's better to try and find a negative on corruption gear that doesn't impact you super horribly but also gives you big bonuses. So there's always a trade-off there for the higher stats for the negative that might come with it. But Eleanor shop is important. The higher level you get it, the more runes that will be available, as well as weapons and blueprints. So raise her up and she'll have more stuff for you, especially if you decide to go down the what's it called, especially if you decide to go down the intelligence faith route. So that can definitely help. And then last but not least, Gordon's pantry. Gordon Ramsay's kitchen out here. Like to call it Hell's Kitchen. But this is a really important one because Gordon will sell you meals, cooked meals and ingredients. So if you don't want to go out into the world and farm the lower level stuff, or you just want to go buy 20 meals and call it a day, or you want to cook food at his place, upgrade him. The higher level you get him, the more recipes he'll have available, the more materials he'll have for purchase, and the better quality meals he'll have for purchase as well. So always good to get your food up, because food is important in this game. It is how you heal, it is how you sustain yourself, unless you're a masochist like me and you try to just knock your head against bosses with no heals because you're trying to be that guy. I'm a parry god, what can I say? But this is why this is really important. So the time it says needed is 1 hour at the top, right? So if we were to go through and get this done, there would be a little timer that popped up and we could go out into the world and do whatever we wanted. Come back, because you'll have a prompt that pops up that says, hey, this is completed, this is done now. Then you can come back and upgrade it to the next tier if you farm the materials for the next tier. But sometimes you could be really fast and just want to get this stuff done. So that is where the Crucible comes into play, and I will go show you where that is at. We're not going to go all the way into it because it's pretty much a straight line directly to it, but you will find a quest from this girl right here. She will always be right here as soon as you get done talking to Roan and the Watcher. When you talk to her, she will cause a whole string of dialogue, and then if you open your map, so I have this undiscovered, so you'll see this exclamation mark all the way out over here. So that is how we know there is still a quest there, and this is where the Crucible is going to lead, or this is going to lead us to the Crucible. This one is just about the Ichor you picked up, so don't ever run up there because this quest is showing. This quest is always going to be there until you get done with your Ichor. So we're gonna just haul butt over here through the square. There's nothing really important throughout most of the streets in here, but when you get here, there will be this door that's open. If you come in here, big old loot chest here, and we're gonna find another one of these when we get to, when we get to the graveyard up here, because the other thing we're gonna touch on is there's a house right here that you can buy. This one's called The Knot. Come in here and show you this real quick. It's a small little house, 8 silver. You're not getting much for it. You get this nice little 1 floor down here, and then you get a nice little upper floor with a little space right here. So if you're looking for a quick and efficient little house that you can just be here and have, this one isn't bad for 8 silver. You usually walk around that much money very quickly. So if you just want something to quickly dump gear in, or loot, or anything like that, because you have way too many resources, because you just don't have enough Ichor for it, you absolutely can get this house. And it's not in a bad place. If you put a teleporter in that house, it puts you right here, right next to the Crucible. But this is where the Crucible will be. You walk up to this door, go right in, and progress that way. It is again pretty straightforward. It is a literal straight path. If it's too dark, turn up your brightness, because it can be a little dark in there, but it should be totally findable. Now for the other little chest that's over here, we're gonna come right back across from where the Crucible was, and there should be a chest right behind these crypts or mausoleums, whatever you want to call them. But more loot is always your friend. There's also resources out here, like that tree we could just cut right there. But then there will be a little shortcut back here that you can get eventually once you unlock Marin Woods. But as you can see, it says Sacrament Graveyard Key is needed to open this door, which you can only find in the area that's up here that we can't get to yet. Plus, we're way too low level for. My character's max level, but I'm just gonna go off of the purposes of your level will probably be too low to go out there until you go through a couple of the other side areas. But you come over here to the very edge, and you can loot some treasure. For us, it was shmoney. You can break these open, because sometimes you'll get lucky and apples will fall out of them, or other loot. You can also cut down these resources as well, but this is birch and it will take a while to cut it down, and I think you need an iron axe for it to even take like 6 swings to knock it down. But this is where the exit to Marin Woods is, so we're not going to worry about that for now. But that is how you would get there. We're going to take a little route around here because this is a nice little way to find the other house that's around here. You could also get to this area from that chest that we looted right there. So if you continue out this way, you can either go that way towards Marin, or you can take the little road right here down and around that will lead you right to the next house that we can buy, and it's the Burrow. I think this one's probably the best bang for your buck in terms of money, because the space in here is actually quite tremendous. Like two silver more, and you have all of this space, a nice little fireplace, and a great little storage room up here that you could put a bed, multiple storages, whatever you want, right? So this is honestly not bad at all for 10 silver. I would highly recommend getting this house if you were looking for one for pure storage space. Once you get the teleporters from the Seneschal, they're called Whisper Stones in the Gauntlet, you can use them to teleport between all of your houses, the last Whisper you travel to, and the Sacrament itself, which is pretty nice. If we continue down this way, there's a little ladder right here. This ladder is really nice because let's say you do end up buying that house and it's your main hub of things. Well, you can use this to pretty much climb almost right up to the Rookery. You're pretty much right here to where you can just run up these stairs, and now you're right back to the bridge that goes across to the Rookery. So that's pretty nice. So for all intents and purposes, if you're trying to buy that Burrow's house down there, it's very nice, and a very quick way to traverse the world. Now, if you don't want to take the ladder, you don't have to. There's usually some resource up here you can always get, and you won't hurt yourself if you just jump off onto that roof. But there's always all of these things. There's a little piece of lore right here that you can try to get. There's also fish that will spawn in the canal, so you can go fishing as well. But we're gonna come around this way because there is a little treasure chest that we can loot over here in the back corner. And other than that, there's nothing super crazy loot wise the rest of the way around here. You can explore. I highly just recommend it because the place is pretty and beautiful. But there's also a ladder here that we can go up that will take us to another floor up here. This is just a little area. I haven't seen any resources spawn here, so it's not like uber important you come here, but if you want to admire the scenery and stuff, absolutely come up here and check it out. But on that note, so you can't go into any of these other places, so we're just going to kind of skip by them. The one reason that I would come up here is because this is the final house that we can buy in Sacrament. It's called the Roost. I think it's a nice little house. Is it worth 14 silver? I don't think so. I think this one should probably be worth maybe 10. I'd say personally maybe like 8, because it offers a little bit more room with a fireplace than the knot. But I mean, this pales in comparison to the size of the Burrow that we just went through down below. So this house, I'd only get it if you truly want to have every house purchased in your main save of Sacrament. But if not, just save yourself the money, because realistically, like, there's no reason to get that one. And then this will be where the Rookery Elevator spawns. So this elevator might get hidden if you finish that before realizing that this is there. So just know that this is where that big chunky elevator spawns. The only like other things that I could really hit on, because we've covered buildings and other stuff like that, is there's a couple of other little nice things about this. When you do unlock the ground or the stairs for the Rookery, this door will become available and it will allow you to reach your community chest. Because there's 2 different chests here that you can store stuff in. I can't go into this because we don't have the scaffolding done, but this door would be accessible for you to go in and all that jazz. We'll talk to Randolph in just a second, but right here there is this this nice little plot of dirt. I don't know the frequency of the spawns. I would say every 30 minutes if you haven't been in town, things will respawn here. So if you just want a quick place to come dig in the dirt, pick a couple of resources, all that jazz, this little farmer plot is available just right here, right across from Randolph. So definitely come down here and pick up some looty loot, because it's free. It spawns there just for you. And then for the second to last thing, you've got Randolph, which you talk to him. And when you initially talk to him, he will give you a prompt to be like, oh, if you keep talking to him over and over again, he won't actively give you anything until you realize, oh, I have to do something. This is where the salute emote comes into place. For mouse and keyboard, I believe it's N. For controller, it's right trigger or R2, depending on if you're using PlayStation or Xbox controller. But you'll pull up this menu and you can hit the select button and you'll salute him, and then he'll give you dialogue and say sweet thanks, and then you'll pull up this menu. I would highly recommend picking up every bounty weekly you can, because as you can see, you get more Ichor for your weeklies. Your dailies, you might get gear that you might need. Hey, do you need that staff to the far right? Well, you can preview it and check out what that reward is. Hey, it's going to be purple. You get explosion damage on kill, and it looks like it's going to be super awesome if you're playing an in character. Plus there's some cloth armor and mesh armor if you want that as well. So you have different options in terms of this. And then that's only bounties. You also have challenges, which you could get like right here, a purple wand, or pick up your other weeklies as well, complete builder projects, complete challenges, and all of this stuff. So you might find things that fit your build, plus you'll get experience and money for doing these. So these can be very, very easy to do and very rewarding. Even if you're just getting this piece of gear to get it, like you could sell all of this for pretty much a silver, right? And so on top of that, if you don't need any of this, you don't need any of the runes that come from it, whatever, that's almost 3 silver and 100 XP, which is absolutely free, right? So that is why this is beneficial. And then if you have created a character on a realm and all that jazz, you should be able to come here to the entitlements and redeem this for every new character on your main world to get Serum Crucible armor. You can't use it until level 21, but if you're trying to get a corrupted set, a plagued set of it, you'll have to do it multiple times, so that way you can potentially walk away with a really GG set of something that cosmetically looks all the same. Because you could be looking like my character, who looks crazy as all hell, with they don't got no drip. They look like a bird that fell out of a tree and hit a freshly mowed lawn on the way down. So it is just funny that way. But other than that, let me show you where the locations of everybody are. Right here will be the Tailors, where Mira and Meri are. There is Grinnich right here. If we come back over here, we can see where Gordon is at. He's just chilling out right here. His shop will start getting bigger and stuff the more you get it repaired. And same thing with Caroline right here. She's standing outside of her inn, but this place will get Mondo buffed up when you actually invest into it. So those are there, but they don't quite stand out as much until you start like getting them upgraded. Right here will be I think his name is Marcos, the alchemist that we went down and checked out in the Orban Glades. There's a ladder you go down into a cave where you do the Iona Lotus quest, and he is quite literally, I think, a psycho, but he's funny, so we keep him around. But we haven't saved him yet. Like I said, I'll do a little tutorial for that area because it can be a little discombobulating, but it is worth it because he gets a free alchemy table, and then you can buy a bunch of alchemy things from him, and then he's upgradable from here and all that jazz. So he'll be right there. This is where Fillmore and the Smithy are. This is where Eleanor and Whittacker are at. When you upgrade them, Eleanor will move into this building right here, and Whittacker will move over here. So this will become a door for him, and that entire place will transform when you get them to their tier 3 places respectively. Over here is where Eleanor is at if you are invested in the melee builds. And when I say melee builds, I mean the fist builds, where you're punching people to death with gauntlets and stuff. She will be your go-to vendor for that. Other than that, though, I think we covered everything as far as like loot locations, quick, easy ways to get around, shortcuts to unlock if you want them, because most of the shortcuts in this town are based off of worker projects. So that is what it is. And we showed you where the Crucible was. We showed you all of the houses so you can see the interiors before having to buy them. Again, I think personally the Homestead is probably, I'd say, S tier. Same with the Burrow. The Manor I'd probably say is A, and then I'd probably put the Rookery and the Roost in probably like B tier. They're good houses for what they are purpose-wise, but realistically, the Burrows is awesome price for its location and its size. Like, it's basically this. It's 2 more silver, but it's like triple the storage space. So realistically, you could put a house here and then just use a scaffolding, climb up, talk to the watcher, go here, climb up the scaffolding, come down here and go into town. Like, you're realistically not far away from a whole lot of stuff. Now this one aesthetically looks the best because it's pretty much just a rectangle with a couple of circles in it, but this one's not bad at all. This one's probably one of the better ones for storage. Then we covered bounties, your merchants, the importance of each merchant, loot locations, and different resource spawning locations and everything like that, different places that things might spawn for you. And I do believe that covers everything important about Sacrament. There isn't a whole lot about this place that is super complicated, but there are little things hidden in corners that you might not understand the importance of. Or when you get people like Danos that has nifty little things that boost the town in different ways in a very minute kind of setting, it is important to know why they are important or what they do. So that way you're not wasting your resources and being like, oh, I was a disappointment. Things like that, right? So this is a quick little walkthrough. The only other thing that I could point out is right over here will be an exit for a quest that will allow you to go to the Black Trench. So you won't have to come all the way over here into the shallows just to go into the Black Trench. Where is it at? Right here. Yeah, there we go. It's right here. So you won't have to come all the way over here just to go in here to the Black Trench. You can come through here once you get it unlocked in this sewer gray area, and you'll notice it's a big old hole in the wall with bars on it. But yeah, that is pretty much it. You have the exit for Marin Woods right here. You have the exit for Nameless Pass up over here, and that covers, I think, everything important about Sacrament. We'll cover the Nameless Pass in a full tutorial walkthrough soon, but I think that pretty much sums up everything. This is a nice in-depth video about everything. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to put them down in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe as always. But if you guys have any other tips, tricks, notes about the place, feel free to share them with others. I'm here to try and get a collection of information for the community to share for them, because it is important to me that everybody learns, because the more people learn and they know about the game, the better their experience will be and the better time they will have here in Sacrament and in Sola Sacra, period. Because No Rest for the Wicked is an awesome game. It is getting a lot of love from the developers and from the community, and I think we could really have a good time trying to get this stuff sorted and situated, and trying to find out all these little things. So we'll do in-depth videos on each of the individual like vendors and their purposes if need be. Eleanor will definitely get a video because her systems are much more complicated than, let's say, Whittacker's, or anybody else's really for that matter. But other than that, I hope this video was informative and helpful to you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comments. We'll try and sort them out. I'll try to check the comments every day before I get on stream, anything like that. And yeah, we're live on Twitch every day for the most part, so come and hang out with us while we learn, while we test things, while we enjoy our adventures, because again, we want to teach everybody and learn all that jazz. Plus we have the greatest music ever, so come hang out. But on that note, everybody, I hope you have a lovely morning, day, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you're at in the world. Take care of yourselves, be safe, and we'll see you around for the next one. Take care, everybody. Peace.